Alrighty. Hello guys. I decided to sit down tonight here. It's almost getting dark outside, but I think we will make it in time. This is a format that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I hope that you enjoy it. So let's jump right into the questions. The first one is light or composition? Which is most important for you? Oh, I would say definitely light. For me, photography is all about light, and I would any day choose a day with a lot of interesting light instead of a day where I should walk around and find my compositions and try to make a photo. Because sometimes when the light is there, I'm so alive and I'm getting so stressed not to catch the light while it's there, because you just know that the light is going to fade and be gone maybe in a very, very fast. So for me, it's all about catching the moment in the nice light, and I'm planning all my adventures, according to be at a specific place for the right light, either sunrise or sunset. Most places in the world. So, for sure, it's light for me. Where in the world do you feel most at home? Oh, it's the easy question is in the outdoors, in the mountains. I feel very much home in the north. I'm from Denmark, and I'm used to Scandinavian climate and Iceland, Faroe Islands, Norway, Sweden. I really like it up here, and I can feel at home many places, but the place I feel most at home is probably when I'm outdoors and I'm on an adventure and I have the opportunity to photograph when the light is happening, and that's probably where I get most excited and feel the blood rushing in my veins. This view is nuts. It's insanely beautiful. You can literally see almost the whole of the Faroe Islands. It's super, super insane. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Are you a professional photographer? Yes, I am a professional photographer, and I have been for maybe 16 years. My education is I'm a photojournalist. I'm educated from the Danish School of Journalism in 2006. So I've been working as a documentary photographer and a photojournalist. I've been covering wars and conflicts and been traveling a lot and making stories about the refugees and all kinds of different issues in the world. And after I did that for like 6 or 7 years, for me, photography started while I was traveling and while I was climbing mountains in the late 90s and early 2000s. So I was documenting expeditions and stuff like that. So for me, it always was about traveling and adventure. So the new challenge for me was to get back into that kind of photography that I'm doing much right now. So that's always been my passion. Do you travel all the time? This is really a question that I'm asked really, really often. Or people, they're like, "Oh, I really envy the way you live your life and you travel." And the answer to this is no, I don't. I don't travel all the time, but I am traveling a lot. But I'm also a lot home. I tend to do a lot of trips, which sometimes is only like 6 or 7 days, maybe 10 days, and then I stretch all the photos I get from that trip. So it looks like maybe I'm in the Faroe Islands for 30 days, but I'm actually only there for a week. So that's the way I travel at the moment. I'm also a lot at home. I have 2 kids and a wife here, and they need my time as well, and I need some breaks as well. I couldn't travel like all the time. I really like the diversity in coming back home and checking the kids in kindergarten and stuff like that, and then I'm off to a new adventure. That's really how I like to work. Best advice for cheap flights. I'm not necessarily the best person to ask, I think, because I'm not. Sometimes I feel that I pay too much for flights, because the adventure that it comes up like really fast, and then you just need to go, or you jump at an opportunity to go and meet up with some friends or something. The more you plan ahead, the better. And then the cheaper you will get your flights for sure. But also be very flexible with the dates. I've realized when I'm looking at Skyscanner or Momondo or the other apps that I use, that if you are flexible with your days, it's always good to avoid the weekends and maybe go on Mondays or Tuesdays or Wednesdays, because it's always cheaper than if you fly out on a Friday or a Sunday or something. So that's probably my best advice for getting cheap flights. But definitely the number one is to be planning ahead and do it as soon as you know that you're going. Don't postpone it, or because it will only get more and more expensive, and it can do that overnight. That's my experience. Do you prefer horizontal or vertical pictures? Difficult, because I've always been photographing in horizontal, but now with the Instagram format, and it's been a big learning curve for me to like see the world that way, and try to make portrait mode landscape photos, because for me landscape is something that is like this, and I often end up having a look at my photos, because I always do both in a location, and when I look at the different formats, I often prefer the landscape one, but I choose to work on the portrait one, because it just fits better for Instagram, and just it's just better for engagement, and actually sometimes also I think the photo can be really exciting to look at. So you can fit a lot of things into a portrait, but it wasn't until I got my 16-35 that I really felt like I could fit the whole landscape in and make really nice photos in portrait mode. What's your preferred way of traveling? For sure, I would always go for the way where I will get the most flexibility. And in my experience, it's definitely to have if it's a road trip, it's definitely to have a camper van. With a camper van, you have the flexibility to like sleep almost everywhere, and to be locked in a hotel room, and you need to be at a specific place at a specific time, and I just don't like it. I like the total freedom and flexibility when I'm traveling. It enables me to be at specific places at a very late hour, and come down in darkness from a mountain or some vantage point, and it's just nice not to have to drive somewhere to a hotel, and maybe you're in a region in the world where that hotel there's nobody at the reception, maybe, or that's also the economics in I think hotels are often too expensive for how little time I actually spend in there. So for me, a camper van is the preferred one, and then second is probably just a normal car with a tent. I love sleeping in a tent, so it gives me the same kind of freedom as the camper van. The camper van is a little nicer. Let's take a few more. One has asked me, the tropics or Arctic environment, which do you prefer? I really like both. But as I stated earlier, where I feel most at home, I probably enjoy the Arctic or the northern climate most. And but at the same time, but that's photo-wise, I would say, because I really love being in the tropics, and I love a place like Bali, where I've been many times, and I had a really wonderful trip to Lombok earlier this year as well. I really love like Asia and the tropics and the warm, and I love the colors there as well. There's a certain kind of aesthetic to the tropicals that I just really love. Like being around a beach with surfers the blue water, and you know, I like the vibe there. I really enjoy being there a lot, and maybe also even more than I enjoy being in a place like Iceland or something. What camera gear do you use? Oh, this is a big one, and I will put a link to my kit so you can see exactly what I'm using. At the moment, I've been shooting Nikon D850 for probably 6 or 7 years now, and a range of 3 different lenses really. If I have a corporate job, I have other lenses as well, like an 85mm 1.4 that is really great for portraits. But for my landscape photography and my outdoor activities, I always bring a 16 to 35mm and a 24 to 105. That one is a Sigma. And the last one is a telephoto lens. It's a 70 to 200, also Nikon, and a really good lens for like getting all those details and getting like a zoom into a mountain and get, you know, the clouds, and it's really great for wildlife as well, you know, like shooting puffins or something like that. I think it's really essential. I bring also a teleconverter 2 times, so I can, so my 70 to 200 can be like 400mm, and I can get really close to a lot of stuff. Let's get the last one. Do you use filters? Yes and no. I don't use like a filter system where you like put like, you know, square filters in front of the camera. I feel that it is just too much of a hassle. I think a lot of the things that I am doing I can get the same results, kind of, you know, almost the same in Lightroom. The tools today are so good, and I don't feel like it's necessary to like darken down the sky or something that like on the spot. I can easily do that afterwards, and the only thing I do bring is a 10-stop ND filter, always in my bag, and just the one you screw in the front, and I use that for long exposure photography, and I always bring a tripod and that filter, and I play around with it. But I have to say that I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with my tripod, but maybe we should get into that. Maybe that's a whole video in itself, you know, just talking about why do you need a tripod in landscape photography. I don't think you necessarily do need it, but for some type of images it's essential. It's not possible to make it without that if you do like 20-second or 30-second exposures or something to smoothen out the water or something. Yeah. So but I don't do that too much. So, and of course the last thing I always bring as well, as you've probably seen in my feed as well, is a drone. It has really changed my way of shooting while I'm traveling, and for me it's still mind-blowing, the quality and the easiness. You can like you put up your drone and make some really amazing stuff that I just never thought I would like be able to do. Like just 5 years ago, it was just unheard of, the kind of images that you can bring home now. So I always bring my Mavic 2 Pro, which I think is for, you know, I hike a lot, I travel a lot with like I carry all my gear. So I think anything bigger than that would be a pain. I'm blown away by the quality of those photos. So yeah, I hope that answers the questions so far. I can tell you that the list is so much longer. I've been, you know, gathering these questions off my comments on Instagram and in my DMs, and by people asking me and people like shooting me emails and stuff like that. So I will make a new video very soon where I will sit down maybe in a place where it's not so dark and where there's not so many motorcycles or airplanes overhead. And I hope you enjoyed this format, because I am planning to do more video, and I'm planning to do more vlogging, more videos of myself when I'm traveling to get some more behind the scenes of how I make my images, and also why, just my thoughts when I'm traveling, like solo traveling. I'm pretty often I am traveling by myself, so I thought there was some good thinking and some good tips, and so look out for that. I will try to do more of these kind of videos and connect with you guys. So thank you a lot for watching, and don't forget to subscribe or follow me if you don't already, and I will see you in the next video. All right, see ya.